Hello, Cherries. Welcome to Live Cherries Sunday, episode 231. Wow. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to play chords in any key without using a capo. And this is going to be really cool. Let's say hello to Jeffrey Boyle here. Give you a round of applause. All right, well, check this out. I actually got this idea from a question that was asked to me by Jimmy Driveway. Let's check this out here. And the question says, asks, so if the scale is E minor and the second is F major, in need of explanation. Because all of us start to play in C major or A minor, we remember the scale, but if I will change in the same song, I think he meant if I change key in the same song, for example, to G major, it becomes complicated. I'm looking for a way not to use the capo and without making mistakes. So that is a great question, and I thought that I would try to answer that today here live on Sunday. Now, it's not going to be a very, very long one because I got to leave in about 45 minutes, so it'll be a little quicker than normal. But I think we all know. I'm going to put on this other cam here and give you a little example from close up of the capo. And Eisenkeller, greetings, Mr. Cherry. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's been a while. Good to see you. I was here last week, so it's been a while for us. And but yeah, a week feels like a long time too. So I have this capo right here, and it's a pretty good one. Actually, I don't really use it too often. And I tried it with an acoustic a few times, and I didn't really love it because I didn't really understand it. And I spent about $50 on it, which is a little expensive for a capo. But I tried it today because my neck's pretty fat on here, and rather than my other capos that I use. But if you're interested in this one, though, I do put a link in the description for that. You can check it out. But it's really cool, so it pops right on there, and you can do that. But what I'm going to show you real quick before we put that on, I'm going to show you in the key of C, playing these cowboy chords. Like if you're playing just any type of key chords, here, like a C to a G to an F to a C, or any chords in the key of C, which would be like this. So those are the 7 diatonic chords of a key. Just like the major scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. It's the major scale. Or like this. So each one of those has a chord. C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B, half diminished, and then C. Or B diminished. That's actually a half diminished. Just B diminished would be like that. So B. But if you wanted to, like Jimmy was saying, if you wanted to play in G, well, you could put a capo on and play the same type of thing up here in G, like this right here. If you wanted to play that same type of shapes, you have to play it like this and put the capo up here. Let's just try that, for instance. We'll put it up here and try that and play the same type of chords. Not that way. That's what's good about this capo. You can kind of fidget around there. You just go. I play the same type of thing right here. Now you're in G without using a capo. But we don't have to use the capo. It's very, very handy. And it comes in handy a lot, and it sounds great, and it allows you to play a lot of open chords. Like, if we wanted to just go up a half step to C sharp right there, it'd be the same thing. Like, works very well. You can go up again, another half step right there, continuing on up the fretboard. Key of D. You know, go up 2, play in the key of E right here, right? So it's very basic stuff here, playing E. All the same chords. And it's a great capo. It works really well. It's very easy to use as opposed to the old school capos like this that I use that just are a little, look, it's even backwards. It's a little clunkier, you know, which are cool, but I found this capo is pretty good. So if you're enjoying this video so far, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications. Let's see, very, very cool. Eisenkeller, hey Jeffrey Boyo. Give you guys a round of applause. Now I'm going to show you the trick here. It's not really a trick to playing everything that I just did without using a capo. And what we'll do is we'll go back to here. Well, first of all, let me just have a sip of this coffee. What are you drinking out there? It's Sunday. We need our coffee. You have to wake up. I did a show last night in Pittman, New Jersey. Came home really late. Woke up really early. So I need some coffee. But let's put this camera back on here. And I'll show you what we're doing. So if you played those 7 chords, and check it out, I'm playing these 7 chords here, right? Try it again. I mean, it sounds like the major scale, right? Like here. Or down here. But I'm just playing the chords along with them. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. You know? So you hear that in there. Those are just the chords. That's how they relate to the scale. If you didn't know, now you know. So now instead of using a capo to go up, I could just shift it up with my fingers and play what essentially are the cage system chords. Because if you go back here, and the cage system is just an acronym. Cage system is an acronym, C-A-G-E-D, caged, and it's an acronym for the C chord, the A chord, the G chord, the E chord, and the D chord. So here's a C chord. You already know that. The A chord is like this. Put this back on here. C chord is like this. A chord is like this. G chord is like this. E chord is like this. The the D chord is like this. So it's like that. Cage. It's just those shapes, those 5 shapes. And when we play this, these are basically just the cage system chords as well. C. This D is a D minor, but it's really like a D shape. Whether it's major or minor really doesn't matter at all. Because here's the D shape, here's the D minor, here's the E minor chord, which is an E shape. Whether it's major or minor, doesn't matter. Major, minor. Here's an E shape for the F. G shape, G chord. A minor, which is an A shape like we played here, but it's A minor. It really doesn't matter, so it's A minor. And here's a tricky one with the B diminished. And it's really like an A shape because if I played a B chord here, or a B minor, or a B minor flat 5 right here, which is what this is, it's still that shape. So now that we have these shapes under our fingers, it's easy to transpose it anywhere without the capo. And hopefully you're enjoying this so far. And Eisenkeller saying, ordinary beer, but it's evening over here. Yeah. Okay, so you're in Germany. So what are there, 5-6 hours ahead? So 5 o'clock, early start, 5 o'clock somewhere. It's beer o'clock somewhere, as I like to say. Yeah, I wish I was drinking a beer right now. But I still got my coffee. The day's still young though, right? So check this out. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the C shape. I'm just going to move it up right there. But I have to use my finger now to kind of bar this down here like that. So there it is. There's a C, right? Bring it up like this. Now I have this C shape, but it's a C sharp chord. So I can play the same exact thing like this. It would be like this. So by doing this, I just played the same 7 chords like this. Let's check it out. Oops, sorry. It's like this. Now I'm just going to go up the fretboard, playing that same thing without the capo. Check it out. It's going to take a few seconds. One more time, sorry. Here's what I'm doing is I'm bending the body and the neck. It's going a little out of tune. Let's try not to do that. Going up the D. D sharp. E. F. F sharp. G, just like Jimmy was asking. Here's G. G sharp. A. One more time, A. A sharp. B. Really tight up here. And last, C again. Oops. Can't see it here. One more time. One more time. It's hard to do it. All right. So we did that up and down the fretboard, and it gets tighter as you go up because my fingers are large and frets gets narrower. So that is essentially how we can get around not using the capo, by playing these cage system chords. And really, really cool. And if you're enjoying this so far, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Any questions about this, please let me know. I'm gonna do a little analysis of how these chords all work together too. But I just want to say hello to you guys, and hopefully you're enjoying your Sunday. You have a day off. And sorry if you hear like a little hum in the background. It's not my single coils, which would sound like this, but it's the air conditioning that's on because it's pretty hot out here today in Brooklyn, New York. That's a little workout right there. A little tough on the wrist. Hopefully you're doing your stretches and everything, which I do like a whole routine of rich wrist stretches like this. I go up, I bend my wrist back, I do all kinds of stuff like this, stretch my fingers. I should make a whole routine video of this. It's really, really important to do. Finny, good morning all. Good morning. Actually, good afternoon right now. Guitar Wizard. Cheers. Coffee time. Guitar Wizard. Wow. That is that's a bold statement. But I love it. I love that. Guitar Wizard. That is awesome. Awesome name. Guitar Wiz. So, really, really cool. This is a really, really good information here. And it was a great question by Jimmy Driveway. So the capo's really good because it has a lot of benefits to being able to strum chords openly and full, like this G, right? I mean this C, you know, and the G, E minor, A minor, C. By doing what I was just doing, by going up using the cage system, you know, I can't really get too much of all the full rings this way, which actually you can, like this. It's just a little bit harder. But if I wanted to go to, you know, that you could play this 3 chord, this right here, this 5 chord, and this G position, you can't really do that. You know, it's really hard. So you're almost, when you're playing these type of chords, when I go like this chord right here, I can't play the full D like you would with an open string. Or, let's see, it would be like this. These all work the same, but this one right here, this, you can't really play like when you were playing a G chord down here. Very full, you can't really do that here unless you just play the top part of it like this, like this, like kind of like this. It's really hard to get that full G chord like that, and then that, and the D. So if I was to play the G progression up here like that, then right here, so I don't have any open strings. Here, once again, here's that G shape, and I have to play it. It's very hard to grab that real quick. But most people just kind of play parts of it. It's kind of hard to finger that all in there. So it definitely has its benefits, you know, using this capo here. We can just pop this on, you know, anywhere, right here, and you know, have all these open chords. Even if I played it up way up high here in this G position, you have that G shape right here. Let's see, the C open without having to, you know, fret it differently. You have the open string. This capo works really well. It sits really nicely on the strings because it's not a fixed pressure like these capos are. So this is called the G7th capo. I think it says Art on it, but I think the company's G7. I was in this music store and we're on tour somewhere, and I was like, wow, this is $50. It must be good. I was looking for a capo, and I was like, let me just try this because I never really loved the other capos. So the thing about this capo too is when you put it on, and it works on this fat, I got a 50s telly neck here, and actually 1950 to reissue, 70th anniversary. It's not the real thing. But it is a real thing, but it's not a 1950. So it fits, is what I'm saying, around the fat neck. So you put it on there, and you fix your own pressure on the string. Like, you know, if you put it anywhere, put it right here, you take it and you just kind of hold it down against the fretboard, and you clamp it down. So now you're putting your own amount of pressure on it, and you're not relying on the pressure that a normal capo squeezes on there, so it doesn't choke the strings too much, and it leaves it pretty in tune. Because most capos, you put them on, I feel, and it's just they kind of bend different strings different ways, so it's pretty good. So I did, put a link in the description for this if you're interested in it, so check it out. Why not? So it's a great capo, but you might not always have a capo. Why would you even use a capo? Like, what's the point of these stupid capos? I don't know. Actually, I do know. I'm going to tell you in a second, but let's check out some of these comments here. Guitar Wizard. I'm still learning. Well, you know what? You're still learning. We're all still learning. Every day we learn something new, for sure. Christopher Eden. Christopher, I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you. Good morning. Oh, I needed the stretch examples. Yeah, well, that's the quick example. I would say 30 seconds. I start off like this. This is kind of crazy, but I start off like this. Of course, you got to relax, breathe deep, and this just do like stretches like this. 30 seconds, hold it. Out, 30 seconds, hold it. Then I do a thing like this. So I grab my thumbs and I go forward with it, and that's a great stretch. 30 seconds like that. Then I go like this, 30 seconds, and I go up, 30 seconds, and then I take each finger, I stretch it back as far as I can without breaking them for like 10 seconds each. Even my thumb, I do it. Pinky, this finger, there, thumb. That's good. Takes a few minutes, but man, it's really worth it. You don't want to be, getting older and not being able to move your hands and fingers. There are so many instances where great guitar players, as they age, have a problem. I just heard Bootsy Collins can't play anymore because his hand issues. I know so many people that can't really move their fingers, except put them on the fretboard and they're great, but they have issues with their hands. And if we want to play a long time, we should take care of our hands, stretch them out. Really, really important. So, yeah. All right. GW, Guitar Wizard. Improper technique and tension in my picking hand caused CT and a frozen shoulder. Oof. Forced me to stop holding a pick like a drumstick. Yeah, loosen up. Loosening up is probably the most important thing. Your whole body and your fingers. God, I'm still realizing how important just loosening up the fingers are when you're playing. I tend to tighten up and tense up your fingers. It's horrible. It's probably just like singing. Like tensing up is the worst. Playing with eights helped with the tension. Yeah, I agree. Tension is an issue. Playing with elves up. Okay. So it's very, very light strings. These are tens. Right here. Started strumming super hard during COVID and my wrist locked up. Yep. So it's not really, sometimes it sounds different if you're aggressive and it sounds harder, but really, not much is really changing there, If you're hitting it harder, you're more likely to have some problems. With electric guitar, I don't think it makes a difference. If you hit it harder, it's not going to help it. Whether if you hit it harder or hit it lighter. And when I was a teen, capos were considered cheating. I don't know why they'd be cheating. It's like it serves its purpose, for sure. But it's good to know what it's doing. That's kind of what we're doing here. Finny. Yeah, being a drummer, I've had to completely change my mindset when grabbing my guitar, but it's literally been painful. Well, if it's painful, you're doing something wrong, there's some pain where it's like in the fingertips from playing the strings, if you're not used to it, if you haven't developed calluses. But as far as in your wrist goes, in your hand, if it's painful, you're doing something wrong. I've had some issues with here, in certain positions. So you just got to really stretch, and you really got to be careful to have proper technique whenever you can, and find a way that doesn't hurt you're playing. Right on. Jeffrey Boyle. What's the thing you normally say? Smiling blue something? Shades? Something like that? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what that means exactly. It's an emoji type, I believe. So, all right. So the capo's cool, and it's good, and it's got a lot of good use because, you know, why would you use it? Well, sometimes you want to change the key of something. You know, you might have a song that's kind of like a C chord, right, like that, like I have a song called "The Rules," which if you haven't heard, it's my latest release I put out a few months ago. And I went to a great studio and recorded that, but it's kind of like this. Or E. There was a time that I thought I might want to play it in C sharp, and I could just, you know, bring it up a notch, like Emerald Lagasse, right? I'll just play it up here. So I play it like that. You know, so there's definitely benefits of using the capo because you're able to play everything wide open. Whereas if I didn't, if I played it like it would have to be like this. Couldn't play that there, you know. I have the bar there, like this. So it's harder. Can't play them as open. It would take me a little work. I never really tried it doing that way. But as you can see, you know, having the capo is very beneficial. But, you know, it's good to understand what it's actually doing and figuring out that you don't really need to use that. You could play. Oops. Up there. So you can work around it without having to actually use a capo. So any questions, let me know. Up here. And yeah, very cool. So it's good stuff. And it's basically finding the right key for your voice. Essentially, that's really the only reason you'd want to use a capo or change keys. I mean, if you wrote something in C and you realize that, you realize that it was just too low, you might want to raise it up without having to play it differently. You know, you might just like the way those chords ring out in this position. And with a capo, it allows you to do that. But, you know, like I was saying, it's good to know what's happening with the capo. So you could use those chord shapes. Like I said, here's the C shape, here's a D shape, here's an E shape again, G shape, and a shape, A minor shape. Here's an A shape with this diminished chord in C. If I did that same thing up a half step, like I was saying, I'm sorry about that. I think a bike is just, I didn't have a drive-by, a bike by. Right here. That was crazy. Hit the horn button by accident. So it would be like if I played this, the song "My Rules," "The Rules" by me. That's a C shape. That's an E shape, a minor shape. Here's an A shape, minor. E shape right there. Here's a C shape with a low third, E shape. There's a C shape as well. We have that C shape, D shape, E shape, E shape, G shape, A shape, A shape, C shape again. So each one of these has its own shapes, and it's real beneficial to know going up the fretboard what they're actually doing, whether you're using a capo or not. If I put this capo back on, like right here, anywhere, you would see that they still have their shapes right here. Even though I'm playing a D chord, that's a C shape, that's a D minor shape, that's an E minor shape, that's an E shape, here's a G shape, here's an A minor shape, diminished shape, and then back to the C shape again. So, you know, while using the capo, you're still playing easy chords that you can let ring out. Really, really cool stuff. But this video is kind of like anti-capo, but it's not, because it has its benefits both back and forth. The Rule song is very cool. Sounds like modern 80s, very original. Yeah, thank you very much. Give you a round of applause. If you haven't heard my latest single, The Rules, check that out anywhere on YouTube or, you know, all the platforms, all the good stuff. And yeah, it's a great way to transpose keys for singers. If a song's too high, a song's too low, you know. And so now, to understand what's happening here, when you're playing these chords up and down the neck, I understand that that C is like this. When you're playing all the chords of a key, you have C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, and then C again, or B diminished. Just to be clear here, diminished, C. That really comes from the major scale. If I took this C up here and I just went up the A string, oops, that's the major scale going up the A string, C major scale. I know the one chord is a C, starting on the second note, D minor, starting on the third note, E minor, starting on the fourth degree, F, starting on the fifth degree, G, starting on the sixth degree, A minor, starting on the seventh degree, B, diminished, and then C again. So you get C. Sounds just like this. Right? That's tough. Very tough. I'll do it like this. So it'll be like this. Going backwards. Finney is too cool. Cherries tunes are cool. If you haven't heard, listen, check them out. Thank you very much. That's very, very kind of you. And so yeah, that's the theory behind it, these chords. So really it's the same in any particular key. So Jimmy, driveway, if you were in C or A minor, you know all the chords, whether they're this way, right there. If you went to G, okay, well, you know, here's the G chord, right here like this. It's the same mentality. It's the same functionality, rather. It's the same exact system and formula, starting on G, G major scale. Just going up the E string here and where the G is. And once again, the one chord is always major, two chords minor. The third degree, minor. So you got G, A minor, B minor, fourth degree, C, major, fifth degree, D, major, sixth degree, E minor, seventh degree, F sharp, diminished, back to G again. Hard to get my fat fingers up there. Of course, you could play them like in cowboy chord versions too, so it'd be like this. G, 2, D minor, 3, C is 4, D major, 5, E minor, 6, F sharp, diminished, 7th, and then back to G again. So it would be. So it's the same formula, no matter what key you're in or anything. So pretty cool. Any questions about this, let me know. I'll give you a round of applause. Having a good time here on a Sunday. Only about 10 minutes more here to go, so about 12:45. I have to run out, which is a bummer today, but we have some more time. If you have any questions, please let me know here. I think we covered the idea. I mean, I really like this capo, if you're going to use a capo. But it's good to understand, what it is that we're actually doing when we're using the capo. Just playing those same shapes. Put this on here. And look, now we're playing, instead of playing in C, we're playing in D. Same shapes. Same chords. It's pretty cool. Able to let them ring out nicely. Anywhere in the neck. If you want to play it in E, the same chords, you bring it up here. That. Look at this dead right there, so I'll just tweak that right there. Make sure it's hitting, then fixed. Just kind of, it's one bummer about these things, but it does work. Make sure we get locks in there in place. So you have the C shape, D shape, E shape, E shape, C, G shape, A minor shape, A shape, diminished, C shape again. So if I lose this, I know what the shapes are still. Still I got a C shape here, E. I got a D minor shape here, an E shape, 3 chord, A shape 4 chord, G shape 5 chord, 6 chord, A minor shape 6 chord, A minor shape 7 chord, back to the 1 again. So it's really helpful to know these cage system chords. And very, very cool. Hope you're having a good time here today. Any questions about this stuff, let me know. And I will mention that I do have a guitar course. It's called the Essential Skills Collection for Guitar. And it covers a couple topics. There's 8 videos. 2 on fretboard memorization, which helps you learn the fretboard very easily. 2 videos on the circle of fifths, which shows you the 7 diatonic chords of a key encaged in that form, in the circle of fifths form, in fifths. Blues soloing, where I have lots of different progressions and graphs and backing tracks for that. And then there's a section on the cage system in 2-5-1s, which is really cool. So there's a link in the description if you want to check out the course. I would appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. And what else? We got some more time. We want to chat here. Been a very busy week, and happy to get back to hanging out with you guys and making some videos. I've been making some narrowed down videos of this and some shorts videos, but I haven't done it in the last couple of weeks. So hopefully I can get back to doing that more this week. But I'm actually been working on my taxes all week. It took me a week, and I had an extension on it, but I really wanted to get that done, so I did that this week. So wasn't able to do as much videos, but I played a show last night, and it was with an ABBA tribute band, not the one I normally play in, but another one that I fill in for every now and then. And we played in Pitman, New Jersey, and it was a beautiful theater that we've played before called the Pitman Theater. And at one point they were, and you would like this, Jeffrey Boyle, because I know you're an Eagles fan. So apparently it's down south, pretty close to Philly in a way, and there's about maybe 1,000 people in this theater. It's like sold out, beautiful theater, and every now and then somebody would just start blurting out EAGLES, Eagles, and the whole place would just erupt. So it's like they bust in Eagles fans. I'm like, what are they screaming out there? So I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but it was a lot of fun because, and there's a bit in the middle of the show where I start talking to the people, and where we're doing our solos and stuff. And I did say that I would say go Eagles every now and then just to get them go crazy. But I said I'm not quite an Eagles fan, but if you knew the team that I liked, you might run me out of the place. So I'm just going to keep my mouth shut, right? But of course I couldn't keep my mouth shut. And I said the team is not one of the New York teams here. Let's get that out of the out of the open right there. But my team is from Pennsylvania, and they did boo me a little bit because I guess they knew that it was Steelers. But I can't see why they would dislike the Steelers if you're an Eagles fan. I mean, you don't love them, but you don't hate them. We're not really enemies. We're like states, competitors. But yeah, they went crazy over the Eagles. Super Bowl champion. I was like, the Super Bowl champion Eagles. All right. And they went nuts for that. But that was a lot of fun. You can pick these too with your fingers instead of playing full chords like that. You can just kind of do this. One finger per string here. You see my right hand. And then you can move it up. And there's this. Nope, like this. Tune here today. Let's try that. Tune for your pleasure. Might have popped a little sharp. Yeah, the B string went a little bit sharp. As the air conditioner gets a little cooler in here, your strings will tend to sharpen up. Sometimes you guys give them a little bit of a yank, it'll fall back down to place. Sometimes they won't. Close enough for rock and roll, so we'll get like that. up here. Hard. Nope. Anyway, that's how that goes. All right. Big E. Eisenkeller. Jeffrey Boyle, I've heard of the Pittman Theater. Yeah. It's a great place out there. So you're close to Jersey, I believe. So Pittman Theater is in New Jersey. It's in Pittman, New Jersey. Big E. Is the, how do you Americans say, B string? Is the, how do you Americans say B string? We just say B string. Yeah. We just say B string. That's it. Typo. Sorry, you. That's why I type. That's why I typoed too. All right, lots of typos floating around here. But here it's H. Oh. Okay. Oh, that's why. So you call the B string the H? Interesting. It's the H string? Wow, I never heard of that before. Interesting. Very interesting there. There it is. Alright. Get some gain. No, because eventually, if you know these shapes, you're playing blues right here in C major chord. The 4 chord. I'm in the A shape now. Back to the E shape. The 5 chord, C shape. Back to the A shape. Shapes, playing those different shapes. Really, really a lot of fun. All right, so we're going to wrap it up here because, like I said, I got some errands to run here. I got to get out of here. But thank you so much, guys, for hanging out. Really appreciate it. Eisenkeller and Jeffrey Boyle. All you guys were really, really cool. And Finney for hanging out here with me for a little while on a Sunday. Guitar Wizard. You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much for popping in and spending some time here with me today. And yep, really, really cool. So I do want to ask you a question. You know, leave it here in the comment, or leave it in the comments or in the chats before we leave up. You know, how do you, and I wrote this question down here, I just wanted to ask again, how do you transpose chords in different keys? I'd like to know, because I know how I'm doing it. We either use the capo, or we could figure out the 7 chords of the diatonic key. You know, there's lots of different ways that you can figure out if you have to transpose. But I want to know how you do it. Let me know in the comment section. And very, very, very cool. So guys, remember, I love yous. Jeffrey Boyle says go Eagles. I say go Steelers. That's all right. We all love our teams. Don't hate me. I don't hate you for it. And remember, guys, be cool, be kind, be cherry. And if you want to see another video on learning how to identify the 7 chords of the major key, I'll put that right up there. I love you. Have a great weekend, great week. I'll see you soon. Peace, y'all. Rock and roll. Ciao.